You're welcome to today's tutorial. My name is Amaka. If you're yet subscribed to this channel, please click on the subscribe button and subscribe. And also turn on the notification bell so that whenever I upload new videos, you'll be notified. In this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a long skirt with gathers. So let's get started. Now this is the fabric I'll be using. Now what I have here, I have 1 yard and 26 inches. That's what I have here. The waist circumference I'm working with is 27 inches. Now I'm going to be using, now this fabric I'm going to be working with, I'm going to use times 2 of the waist circumference. That's what I'm going to gather. But if you want your skirt to be very full, if you want it to be full, you have to use times 3 of your waist circumference. That's what will give you that fullness. But because this fabric is small and I'm making it for a small girl of 10 years, so I'm using times 2 of her waist circumference. That's what I'll be working with. And I also have my seam allowance here. I have my zipper allowance. I have 2 inches for zipper allowance, and the skirt is going to have pockets. I'm going to use 4 inches by the side, 2 inches for one side and 2 inches for one side. That is the seam allowance, where I'm going to attach the pocket because I'm going to cut the both sides. So that means that the back panel is going to be 2. I'm going to cut the back panel into 2 because there will be zipper. There is going to be zipper. So let's get started. Now the length of the skirt is 38 inches. 38 inches, and the band is going to be 2 inches. So I'm going to minus the band from the length of the skirt. So 38 minus 2 inches gives you 36 inches. Now 36 plus 1.5 inches hemming allowance gives you 37.5 inches, plus ½ inch seam allowance, which I'm going to use to join attach the skirt to the band, attach the band to the skirt, gives you 38 inches. Gives you 38 inches. So what I'm going to cut out from here is 38 inches. Then I'll split the skirt. I'll separate the back panel from the back panel and also split the zipper allowance. So I'll do that and show you. Now this is it. I've split my fabric. Now this is the front panel and this is the back panel. Now the back panel, I have to split the back panel into 2 because I'm going to have, now my zipper is going to be here. Now this is my zipper allowance. So this is what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to attach my zipper. After attaching my zipper, I'm going to sew the back panel down. After that, I'm going to attach the pocket. My skirt is going to have pocket. Now I'm going to attach my pocket by the side. Now this is what I'm going to do. By this side, I'm going to come down by 2 inches and mark. Now 2 inches for my pocket. 2 inches, and my pocket is 7 inches. So I'm going to notch it. The same thing I did here, I'm going to do here. So I'm going to notch it. I've notched it. Now this is where my pocket will be. Now I'm going to show you how to attach your pocket. Now I'm going to bring, now this fabric, my fabric, this is the right side of my fabric and this is the right side of my fabric. So you're going to place your fabric right side facing right side. Now I've cut out my pocket already. This is my pocket. I have 4 pieces of this. So I'm going to place this now. This is the right side of my fabric. The right side of my fabric. I'm going to place it, and this is the right side of my pocket. So I'm going to place it right side facing right side. I'll place it right side facing right side and I'll sew it. The same thing I did here, I'm going to do it here, and I'm also going to do it here on this part. I'm going to do it here. Now when I sew it, I'm going to sew it with half inch seam allowance. After sewing, I'm going to turn it this way. I'll turn it and I'll top stitch. After which, I'm going to join the both together and sew it. Okay, let me show you. So I've shown you how to attach your pocket. Now here, I've attached my pocket here. Now this is the right side of my pocket and this is the right side of my fabric. I've attached the pocket. Now I'm going to turn it, I'm going to push it this way. I'm going to push my pocket this way and I'll top stitch. After that, I've done the same thing here. After that, I'm going to join the two pockets together and join the sides together this way. I'll join the sides together this way and I'll sew it. Now this is how I'm going to join my skirt. I'm going to sew it. I have 1 inch seam allowance here. So I'm going to sew it with 1 inch and I'll sew it into the pocket and I'll sew it. Then I'll sew it down. The same thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to do on this part. So after that, I'm going to hem the lower part. After joining the sides together and the back panel, attaching the zipper, I'm going to hem the lower part. Then I'm going to pleat the waist and attach the band. Now I have my band here. I've cut out my band. Now this is my band. My band is going to be 2 inches. So what I have here is 5 inches. This is 5 inches. I have 1 inch seam allowance here. So when I fold it, I have 2.5 inches. It's 2.5 inches on fold. Half inch here and half inch on the other side. While here, now this band is 30 inches. The waist circumference is 37 inches. I have 1 inch seam allowance, half inch here and half inch here, and I'm using 2 inches for overlap. You can use 1 inch, you can use 1.5 inches for overlap. It all depends on you and what you want to do. So another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach interfacing on my band. I'll attach interfacing on my band to give it some level of stability. I want my band to be firm, to make my band to be firm. So I'm going to attach interfacing to my band. Then after that, after pleating the waist, I'm going to attach my band to the skirt. So I'll do it and show you. So this is the skirt. Now I've gathered it. I've fixed the zip. Now this is the zipper. This is the zipper. Let me turn it to the front. So this is the front. This is the pocket. Now I'm going to attach the band. So this is the band. I've sewn this part with half inch seam allowance. So I'm going to turn it this way. Now I left half inch. I left half inch here. So I'm going to turn it this way. Turn it to the right side. And I'll hold it this way. So I'm going to hold it this way. I'm going to cut this off. So I'll cut this off. And I'm going to hold it this way. Now I have half inch. I left half inch here. So I'm going to hold this and sew it with half inch. I'm going to sew it round with half inch. Now after sewing it round, I'm going to turn it to this. I'm going to turn it to this part, and I'll hold this. I have half inch here. This half inch I have here, I'll hold it and use it to sew inside. Let me illustrate with pin. Now, this 1/2 inch I have here, I'm going to sew here. So I'm going to sew it with 1/2 inch. After sewing with 1/2 inch, I'm going to turn it. When I turn it, then I'm going to hold here. I'm going to hold here, and I'll fold in this 1/2 inch allowance I have here. I'll fold in this 1/2 inch. This 1/2 inch allowance I have here, I'll fold it in, and I'm going to sew from here, from the front. I'm going to sew, but as I'm going to sew in between the band and the skirt. As I'm sewing, you're not going to see the thread. I'm not going to sew on top of the band. You're not going to see the thread. And as I'm sewing here, it will be sewing here. It will be sewing here. I'll do it to this point. Then after that, when I get to this point, I'm going to sew here and finish here. So that's just it with this. I'm going to do it and show you the finished look of the skirt. So this is the skirt. Now I'm done sewing. Now this is the pocket, and this is the pocket. Now look at the band. Now when you look at the band from the front, you see that you're not seeing the thread I used in sewing it, because the thread is in between the band and the skirt. Now, but when you look at this part was also sewn. You are seeing the thread from here, but you're not seeing it from here. Now what this does is it gives your sewing a neat finishing. So that's how to sew the band. I also hemmed the lower part. Now this is the lower part. I've hemmed the lower part, and this is the back. Now this is the back. This is the zip. This is the zip. This is the overlap. So that's just it. I'm done. If you want yours to be full, if you want yours to be fuller than this one, you can use ×3 of your waist circumference. What I used for this one is ×2 of the person's waist circumference. You can use ×3 of your waist circumference. If you learned something from this tutorial, please give this video a thumbs up. Share this video with your friends, your colleagues, your loved ones, and also subscribe to my channel to support me. Subscription is free. Feel free to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Nizama Stitches. You can share your work with us on Facebook at Nizama Stitches. We've come to the end of this tutorial. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.